I am a goddess warrior. Stephanie J. Block. Stephanie Jesus Block. I don't know what her middle name is, but we need to thank Jesus for making Stephanie J. Block. You'll love it. You'll Amy love it. Hello, how are you? I hope that you're very, very well. Welcome to my video. In January of this year, I went to New York City and my friend Sarah was like, oh, you should go and see the Cher Show. I was like, the Cher Show? And she said, yes, Amy, the Cher Show. I was like, I don't like Cher. I don't consciously like Cher, if that makes sense. She's not somebody that I'm like, oh, what shall I pop onto the radio in the car? Oh, I'll listen to a bit of Cher. Not something that has ever crossed my mind. But then she said that Stephanie J. Block was in it and I was like, well, we do stan Stephanie J. Block. And then when we were in New York, we were like, what shall we see? And I thought, we should go to the Cher Show. So I was there with my friends Olivia and Nicole, and then Olivia's friend Marina came with us as well. So we got some tickets, and beforehand we went for dinner and we kept saying, I can't believe we're going to see a musical about Cher. It became like a bit of a meme with us, like we didn't think it was gonna be great, like a musical about Cher. I knew nothing about her life really, but I was like, I don't think it's gonna be for me. So as I say, we went for dinner and we kept being like, I can't believe that the first time we see Stephanie J. Block, she's going to be pretending to be Cher. It was just hilarious. So anyway, we sat down in the theatre. As soon as the show started, we were like, this is amazing. We were crying with laughter. It was hilarious. Since then, I have basically not spent a day without talking about the Cher Show. It's really fun to say, the Cher Show. So here I am with 20 reasons why you should go and see the Cher Show. If you're not able to go to New York and to see the Cher Show, you should just download it and listen to the Cher Show. As Cher would say, let's do this, bitches. Number one, I've already said it, but it's fun to say, the Cher Show. I really wonder how many times in this video I will say the Cher Show. And maybe I'll have a little counter at the bottom here that tells you how many times I've said the Cher Show. Just maybe. And then maybe I'll do a drinking game where every time I say the Cher Show, we take a shot. Woo! Okay, first one out of the way. Number two, it's not just like any other jukebox musical. It's not just listening to Cher songs. When I went in, I was like, oh, I don't think I even know that many of her songs. Certainly not enough to make a musical out of them. I probably knew If I Could Turn Back Time. And I know, Do You Believe in Love After Love? Gypsies, traps and thieves. Oh, and I Got You, Babe. I know 4. What I will say is, like, I went in not knowing all of the songs, and actually my favourite songs from the show now are the ones that I didn't know beforehand. Dark Lady and When the Money's Gone are my 2 faves. They are, woo, amazing. Okay, number 3, the dancing will make you want to cry with how insane it is. Right, there's this song called Dark Lady, I've just said about it. It's one of my favourite songs in the show. I literally listen to it on repeat. It finishes and I'm like, rewind. I just love it, you know? And basically, there's a girl in the company and it's like one girl and all the men in the company and they all dance together. It's like the sexiest thing you've ever seen. It steals the show. It falls in the middle of Act 2 and I can't even put into words the stuff that she does with her body. You're like, how are you not broken? I've got the hiccups. Like, how are you still put together? How do your joints still stick together? Because I struggle like standing up. I can't even touch my toes. And you're here seeing her flip-flopping and back-flipping and doing the twist and doing the flop and the flip and number 17, the spread eagle. Honestly, insane. Okay, number 4 is the costumes. So Bob Mackie, who was Cher's like costume designer, he also designed loads of the costumes for the show. Oh my goodness. They're the most exquisite things you've ever seen. I love a good costume, but it's not something that like sells a show for me. But the costumes in this show, even if you don't like the music that much or whatever, which you won't because it's all amazing, even if that's not like your thing, the costumes are superb. They do like a fashion show thing with like a display of loads of his like crazy inventions. You just think, how does somebody have that in their mind? How is somebody that creative? I think of myself as a relatively creative person. I would consider myself as a creative, but I'm like, I can't comprehend. That's crazy. Mind blown. So number 5, something that I really love about it is it doesn't give you time to get bored. The way it's put together is just expertly done, and I think it's done in such an amazing way, and it's like you're on like a runaway train that's just not stopping the whole way until you get to the end. It's beautiful. I feel like I've not said the Cher Show in a while, so there you go. The ensemble. Oh my lord. I remember when we went to see the show and I was like, even if I worked out every day for the rest of my life, you know, went on an all vegan diet and whatever, I would never look like those people, and I will never be able to do what the ensemble of the Cher Show do. Every single person is a 10 out of 10. They all look incredible. Like, obviously their dancing, singing and acting is all on point. They're such an amazing ensemble of performers. They really pull the show together. They do so many different styles of singing and dancing, and oh, I love them. I love them all. Oh my goodness, Jarrod Spector playing Sonny. When he first comes on stage and he sings for the first time, everybody in the audience cheered. And I'll be honest, like, I've definitely heard I Got You Babe before, but I don't think I ever kind of registered his voice, if that makes sense. Like, I just registered it in my head as like a generic male voice. And everyone in the audience was cheering around us, and I was like, what the hell? I think like the Sonny and Cher Show was huge in America, and in England I don't remember ever watching it as a kid, but you could tell how much love the audience had for Sonny Bono as a character, and the fact that Jarrod Spector was portraying him so perfectly and to a T. I think that the audience just absolutely loved that, and it was a really exciting thing to see. I don't think I'd ever seen that happen before. I've seen where people just come on stage because of who they are outside of the show or because of the character that they are, and people come on stage and people cheer them. I've seen that happen a lot, but I've never seen it where somebody just starts singing and people are so blown away by the sound that they start clapping. I thought it was such a natural thing of the audience. Like, they didn't do it for anybody else. It was really amazing to witness. I loved it. And he did like a Broadway.com vlog of backstage at the show, and I loved seeing, like, when I saw the show, I then went back and watched his videos from backstage, and it was so amazing to see like the little bits that I'd seen in the show then in a vlog form. And that's why I love vlogging from backstage at shows. Like, just a moment to talk about Broadway.com. What they do is just the best. I love it. I'm just tipping my hat to Broadway.com. So I have already mentioned When the Money's Gone, but I just need to talk about it in detail. It's a song called When the Money's Gone. Before the Cher Show, I'd never heard it before. It wasn't a part of my life, and now I listen to it every day. If I'm in a bad mood, I put that song on. I don't know what it is. It's like a mixture of When the Money's Gone, baby, it's all or nothing now. And it like mixes the two, and I love it. It's so good. It's a really lovely transition between Babe and Star as well, so you see the difference, you know, one Cher moulding into another one, so you can hear that happen on the recording, and it's really, really funny, and I really like listening to it in my car and like saying I'm such a loser. So there's bits of like dialogue where she's like, where were we, little man? And I love driving in my car and like saying it along. Oh my god, I'm such a geek. I love it when she's like, I'll run you a nice warm sink. I love it. This from the father of my child, I think. Oh, it's the best song in the show. Oh, it is, it's great. You have to listen to it. Go and listen. Do you know what? If you think, not sure if I like the Cher Show, please go and listen to When the Money's Gone. You'll love it. You'll Amy love it. I'm such a loser. Okay, so number 9 is the suspense that Cher might be at the show. Cher at the Cher Show? What? So when we went, it hadn't actually been open that long. I think only maybe a month or so. That could be wrong, but it hadn't been open super long. And there kept being reports that Cher was at the show and she'd just come and stand at the back of the auditorium. And we were sat in the orchestra, or the stalls. We were sat right at the back. And every time we heard a noise behind us, we were like, is Cher there? And I don't know, there's something just very exciting about the idea that Cher might be there. She wasn't, but it's an added excitement of when you go and see the show. Will Cher be there? I have to say as well, the merchandise, I'm just going to put this all into one thing. The merchandise was on point for that show. When I went, all I got was this tote bag. So it has the Chers and then it has the Chers. If I have one regret from this trip is that I didn't get more merch. My friend Nicole actually bought me that bag. Oh my god, they had candles, like, you know, like Jesus candles in like churches, you know, like the big long candles, and they had those with like Cher on them, and I'm like, I need one of those candles in my life.
I'm a candle vlogger.
I love show merch. I will happily rep merch until, you know, I'll probably be buried in merch. I want to be buried with all of my show merch. Wearing my Heather's t-shirt, my Mean Girls hat, carrying my Cher Show bag. You know, that's me. Oh my god, that's so iconic. I really want to be buried in my show merchandise. If anyone can make that happen when I die, that'd be great. Why are we talking about my death? What? I love show merch. I just really regret that I don't have more Cher Show merch, because I would love to be repping a Cher Show jumper, you know? I'll just have to go back. So number 10 is about the cast recording. It's impeccable. It sounds beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. And when I saw the show, when I came back, I kept talking about it, but when I was there, we saw 5 shows in 4 days, and it's a bit overwhelming when you see that many shows. And I also was at Broadway Con for 3 of those days as well. So it was a bit overwhelming, and by the time that I left, I was like, what did happen in the show? I know it was good, but what happened? And I kind of forgot. I don't have a great memory anyway. When the cast recording came out, it all came flooding back to me, and I was so grateful. So if you're wondering, if you're one of those people who thinks, oh, I don't really feel like cast recordings always portray the show as well as they could, I think this does a great job of it. There's lots of like in-between talky bits, but not too many, because sometimes if there's too much talking, I'm like, skip, I want to bop. But I feel like there's just the right amount to feel like you're still experiencing the show, and you're getting all of the great moments of it. It's fab. Oh my god, number 11 is about the Chers interaction. So I know a lot of people have said, oh, you know, the Cher Show is just, it's 3 different women showing Cher throughout the years. And it's like, one is in the first half, one is in the middle, and one's at the end. But that cannot be further from the truth with this show. The Chers interact with each other throughout the entire thing. I first saw it and it opens with Stephanie J. Block singing If I Could Turn Back Time. And I was like, so maybe it like starts with the end of the show and then we won't see her for ages. But honestly, like, the 3 Chers are so intertwined with each other, and so it's like they're integral for each other's plot. Like, Babe can't get where she's going next without Star and Lady helping her along. Babe is young Cher, Lady is middle Cher, and Star is like now Cher. They're all like giving each other advice and things, and when one is going through a tough time, the other Chers come and they're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? And the other one's like, no, she needs to do that because of this reason. And they'll like have this little argument, and I think it's such an amazing way of showing like an internal monologue. Like, we all have these things in our heads where we have like the younger us talking to us and a more mature us in the future telling us what to do as well, and helping us make these big life decisions. And it's done on stage. They're so witty and they're so funny, and they're harsh with each other and gentle as well. Like, I think it really is a great example of how harsh we can be on ourselves, and how we also need to build ourselves up, and how we use different parts of our lives to help us like progress to the next point and to help us get strength and whatnot. And I think the 3 Chers and their interaction together is done in such an expert way. It's so good. I love the Cher Show. Honestly, I could talk for hours on it. Okay, number 12 is that Cher is hilarious. Like, I'd seen the videos, you know, where Cher's like, I think a man is like dessert, and then some woman says, oh, is that not like really bitter? And she's like, no, I love men, I think they're the coolest. And I've seen videos of her be interviewed and stuff, and I've seen her like slag off Madonna to the end of days, but I don't think I ever realised how funny she was. I always thought Cher was a bit of a badass, but she's like a funny badass as well. I think the thing that I came away from the show realising is how multi-layered she is. She's not this one thing. She's both shy and confident at the same time, and so often we see like celebrities and they have this like one character that they like show to the world, and the Cher Show really like pulls back all of the layers and lets you see that she is a very normal person. And although she's had this crazy life of this glamour and these riches and stuff, she's also had hard times as well, and she is so much more than just the woman who is absolutely beautiful and is really confident and wears the most wacky outfits ever. Is so much more than that. And she's so funny. I use comedy as like self-deprecating and as kind of a defense mechanism, but she seems to use it to just empower her more, and I love that. And as a lady who likes to laugh at herself and likes to tell a joke or two, I found it really inspiring and was like, maybe I can use comedy to make myself feel better instead of making myself feel worse. Props now. Babe, Makayla Diamond. I think she's 19, maybe just turned 20, maybe about to turn 20, but she is so freaking talented. It makes me feel ill. Her voice, right, so some people when they belt and you're listening to it on a recording and you're like, I'm not sure if you're gonna hit those high notes, hon, and you're like really nervous. Her voice is so effortlessly, it's so effortless. You're listening and you're like, she's hitting crazy high notes and it's like they're just falling out of her. And the beat goes on. She does this big dance number with her and the ensemble, and she's like singing super high and telling like a full-on story through the song, and she's doing it all. And it's so effortless. It's like she was made to do this. Like, I watched an interview with her where she was saying that she was about to go off to go to college to go and study musical theatre, and then she found out that she got the Cher Show, so she stopped and went and did the show. This is somebody who is that skilled in their craft already, but she's just so incredibly talented. She's so nice as well. We met her at Stage Door. She looks totally different at Stage Door than on the show, because she's got like big curly hair, whereas in the show she's obviously got like super sleek long black hair. So I didn't actually recognise her, but she was so nice and so like, oh, she was wonderful. Teal Wicks. Teal goddamn Wicks. What a goddess. I mean, she oozes class and grace. She has so much variety in her acting. Like, she's super duper funny. She does so much of the Sonny and Cher Show stuff. And then she also does like some very hard emotional scenes as well. I don't know, she just blends it beautifully. And also, she is Mrs. Barry from Finding Neverland. And when she sings in The Circus of Your Mind, she's on every single page of your journal, James. One of my favourite moments in all of musical theatre history, and that's Teal Wicks. And I can't believe that I saw her in real life. I adore her. And oh my god, all the Chers, I mean everyone in the company, how are they so fit? Like, their bodies, I'm like, how do you look like that? Have you ever eaten cake? Ever? Okay, so Stephanie J. Block. Stephanie J. Block. Stephanie Jesus Block. I don't know what her middle name is, but we need to thank Jesus for making Stephanie J. Block. She's an icon. We stan. Honestly, I don't know what we did to deserve Stephanie J. Block. As I say, when I first was like, let's go and see the Cher Show, I couldn't believe that the first time I was going to see Stephanie J. Block was playing Cher. And I saw an interview with her where she said that when she's like deciding which roles to take next, a part of it is like what's going to surprise people, what's not going to be expected. And the Cher Show is certainly not expected. And she is so insanely gifted and so talented. I can't even like wrap my head around it. I think what's amazing about Stephanie is like the versatility of her performances. Like, she is so different to the roles that she's played before. Like, when you think of her role in Falsettos and her role in The Pirate Queen and 9 to 5, like some of her biggest roles that are so varied, and then you throw Cher into the mix as well. It's incredible. I think she's so humble as well. Her social media, the way that like she interacts with everybody, and I saw her be interviewed and she was saying if she can do something, if she can acknowledge, even if she doesn't have time to reply to every single tweet or every single thing that she's tagged in, she makes the time to like it and to say, I acknowledge your time that you're giving to me and your support and things. And I think that is so amazing, and I just really appreciate that she does that for fans and aspiring performers. What's wrong with me? And the cast are so wonderful. They're so supportive of each other, and I love that. Something I really enjoy it when, like, obviously I'm sat over here thousands of miles away, and I love Broadway. I do. I love Broadway with all of my heart, and it's so nice to be able to see little bits of what they get up to, you know? Like I mentioned about the Broadway.com vlogs, and seeing them all interact backstage is so nice, and they all seem to have such a supportive and collaborative experience together, and I love that. They just all seem like the loveliest people. When I went to the stage door, I met a guy called Mikey who actually watched my videos and knew who I was, and I was like, what the hell? My mind was truly blown, and I'm still not over that fact that somebody on Broadway knows who I am. And now we're like little internet pals, and I get to like see what they get up to through him, and it's so nice. And so Mike, if you watch this video, hello my darling. The show's nominated for 3 Tony Awards. Now, I really wish it had been nominated for more, and it certainly deserves Best Musical. It's always difficult, I think, for jukebox musicals to get nominated for Best New Musical. It hasn't happened in quite a while, and certainly not won one in a while. It's a shame because I really think it's a really superb show. I've seen a lot of the stuff that is on Broadway at the moment, so I've not seen Beetlejuice or Tootsie, and they're 2 that have been nominated, so I can't compare them. I think everything else I've seen, obviously I saw Hadestown in London, not there, but I really do think that there is a place for the Cher Show in that group. What can you do, eh? It's very sad. But I'm so glad that Stephanie J. Block is nominated, and my god, she'd better win. I really needed to win. She's been nominated 3 times. Hello, Tony Board. Please will you give her a Tony now? Even just one for just being Stephanie J. Block. I mean, come on. So another reason I love the show is the way that it's shown Cher's life. As I say, I had no idea of anything that she had done, basically before Burlesque. And the story of her life is crazy. Like, the stuff that she's done is mental. I quite often feel inadequate. I feel like I haven't succeeded in enough in life. I have so much more to do, and I'm running out of time, and I just panic a lot and think I'm not good enough, and, you know, I have these real moments of thinking that my time has been and gone, and I missed it, you know? But if the Cher Show has taught me one thing, you can be in the pits of like feeling like you've lost everything. Like, she fully had no money. They had huge success, and then they lost everything, and they went to nothing, and they were struggling, and then they went up again, and then it's like she was in Silkwood, and then it was 2 years until her next movie role, and I bet in those 2 years she was like, hello, I'm an Oscar nominee. Why haven't I got any more film roles? I think what it's shown me is that nobody's life is straightforward, and everybody has peaks and troughs, and you might be in a trough but you'll go up to a peak again. You just have to keep positive and trust in yourself and in your own worth, and know that good things will come. And I left the Cher Show being inspired and thinking, my time is yet to come. I'm on a roller coaster that's only going up, my friend. Thank you, Cher. Number 19 is that I am a goddess warrior. Something I learned from the Cher Show is that I am a goddess warrior. I am. The show has told me that I'm amazing. I'm strong and powerful and independent, and I can do anything. I have no limit. Whatever I want, I should be able to go and get it. And if I have enough drive and enough passion and power, if I give enough to it, then good things will happen. And I think that the Cher Show really inspired me to do that, because I tell you, when I left, I was like, I am a strong, sassy lady. I think there's something about like female power in the show that is so overwhelming, and I don't remember the last time I left a theatre so inspired and pumped up and ready to like take on the world. Being a strong woman is amazing, and I think it's something that we so need. I've always felt, as I say, inadequate. I always feel inadequate, and as I'm coming to my later 20s, I'm starting to kind of accept who I am and be like, this is me, this is me, this is what you get, and I'm happy with that. And the Cher Show really inspired that and helped that along. Young girls everywhere should see it, young boys as well. Like, I'm just talking as a woman because that's who I am. I feel like everybody should see this to be like, yeah, I can do anything because I am a goddess warrior. Who knew that the Cher Show would bring so much fight in me? And then finally, it's fun to say, I've already said it, but it's so much fun to say the Cher Show. The Cher Show. The Cher Show. How do Americans say it? The Cher Show. The Cher Show. Because somebody was saying to me that they like can only say it in an English accent because they've heard me say it so many times. Well, I tell you, after this, you'll never not hear it as the Cher Show. I think just that trip to New York was a really special one for me. It was a big moment for my my like YouTube life and meeting people, and I met some amazing friends on that trip, and I spent time with some great people, and it was just a very special trip for me on my own. It was the first time I travelled on my own, like fully. I went on a plane on my own, pretending he's beside me, all alone. I walk with him till morning. We're not talking about Les Mis, Amy, we're talking about the Cher Show. This was a really big part of the trip because after we saw it, basically all we talked about for the next 3 days was the Cher Show. And I think it just has great memories for me. It has a really big place in my heart now and I love it. And I really want to see the show again. I'm gonna have to go back to New York and see it. If it gets its closing notice, you best believe I will be there at the closing night. I hope it doesn't, and I hope it runs forever and I just get to see it when I next go. Anywho, I love the Cher Show. I'm a goddess warrior. So are you. Go and listen to the recording. Go and see it if you get a chance. Go and watch all of Jared Spector's videos. Go and support the Cher Show. I love Cher. Who knew? I was like, I don't know anything about Cher, and here I am now like saying quotes from her on the regular. I am a rich man. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I said the Cher Show so much. I love you lots. I'll see you soon, goddess warriors. Bye.